Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers, far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 82 of the Talking the Line podcast. Hey, thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your day to come and kick it with the crew on this beautiful Friday of bets. MLB is back, ladies and gentlemen. We have 16 games to be able to place bets on today, and we got 7 best bets coming at you. We got plenty of lines to talk about and plenty of analysis to dive deep into. But before we do, please, if you could be so kind, take a few moments to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the TTL pod on. If you are watching on YouTube, whether live or recorded, make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss the start of a live show. But if you are listening to the audio recorded version on your favorite podcasting directory, make sure you hit that subscribe button there. In addition, just made the motion for you to hit the button. You probably can't even see me if you are listening to it, but make sure you do subscribe there. That way you get the release after every live show is over promptly. Next item up on the docket, if you could also be so kind and you got a couple extra seconds in your Friday here, hit that like button, leave us a comment, leave us a rating, all that good stuff. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, and it only helps us make Talking the Line Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. Last but not least, last item on the docket to start today's show. Head on over to this episode's description where you will locate the Talking the Line link tree. It's the first link you're going to see there. And within that link tree, you will locate all of the TTL Crew's content so you can consume it however and whenever you please. Ladies and gentlemen, and beautiful gambling people, joining us on today's show, the show to wrap up the week, I am your humble host, Colt 45 Soroka. And as always, and once again, thank you so much for choosing to stop by episode 82 of the TTL pod. Me and my partner got a show and a half cooked up for you today. We got bets from all over the board and even going into the weekend. But before we get into that, I need to bring that man into today's show, the humble co-host of the TTL pod, the aforementioned man who I lock arm in arm with every single day and dive deep into the trenches and the daily battles with the sportsbooks. A young man who you can see where his fandom lies and how excited he is to get the season started with the socks laid firmly across his chest, but much the same here for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not leaving, I ain't going nowhere. So without further ado, let's bring that man in. The myth, the legend, the degenerate gambler every day and day out himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
I'm good, my man. Did I lose my degenerate legend status, but just become normal legend status? Is
yeah,
that,
you know
what that was, or just a switch up?
Normal legend, just a switch up, but you are still a degenerate legend yourself, my friend.
But I'm good, my man. It's a beautiful Friday, interesting week of sports. Had a little break last night, but we're ready to dive right back in, my man.
Yeah. So as one would say, no complaints on that side of the table.
No.
Okay. You will find none here either, my friend. So glad we're on the same page in that. Hey, you're scooting out of the production studios here a little early today. Got a little round of some links to play here.
Little group golf, little best ball action, little scramble. I'm excited, my man, getting back to the old hometown. So,
all right. Hey, so business as usual. It's still going to be a normal length show,
sir.
but RMags has got a little carrot to look forward to here at the end of today's show. We also have a carrot in general, my friend. MLB is back on tap. The Sox are back in action for you. The Cubbies are back in action for me. And whoever your favorite team is, they're back in action for you too, ladies and gentlemen. So we're ready to get things rocking and rolling. Quick question, though. Was yesterday quite possibly the worst sports day of the year?
I don't see how it could be much worse unless you're a USA soccer fan. I don't think it could be much worse.
Well,
for us, section of people who, whether you're a fan or whether it's your job to do it, it was kind of I don't want to say a needed break because I'll take any type of sports action, even if it's in the background. But especially after you just grinded through, 90% of the NBA playoffs, all of the NHL playoffs, and 10 to 15 MLB games a day. It's it was a nice little baseball cleanse.
Little bit of a refresh, if you will. So hey. We took this entire week to dive deep into MLB stats, trends, analysis, and everything in between. So we got plenty of value to get into on today's show. Bit of a cloudy day here in the Windy City. Nonetheless, we're bringing our own sunshine here on today's show and good vibes inbound if you didn't see it on the opening screen. What's coming up on today's show? Well, I'm glad you asked. It is back to business as usual, and we got things kicking off with the first segment of the day. 2 parts. First part, RMags' best bets of the day, and then we'll slide on over into my best bets of the day. He's got 3, I got 4. I got 2 coming out of 1 game. Then we got the special play of the day. You might be looking, if you're a fan of the TTL podcast, for the Primetime Parlay or the Chicago Parlay, but you ain't going to find it here today, pal, because we didn't have the opportunity to play the MLB Parlay, the MLB special play that we do every single week. So we're going to go back in time, if you will, briefly to Thursday and bring it on forward for the Triple Play Friday Parlay, ladies and gentlemen. We got a usual 3-legger paying out at plus 683 odds today. One that we are very, very confident in. So excited that we finally have an opportunity to get some big plus money back on the book. And we might have some plus money parlays within our own picks as well. So that'll do it for our best bets and the special play. Then the honorable, all-knowing Moneyline Dice grace us with their presence for the third segment of today's show. They're going to be doing their usual role. We're going to game 1 between the Marlins and the Phillies. Right now, looks like Sandy Alcantara is going to be going up against Matt Moore. So we'll let the dice dive deep into that, give us their best bets tonight. They, I believe, firmly in my heart, had that game canceled for the Yankees and the Red Sox yesterday.
Yep.
I believe somehow the dice caused that coronavirus spread there in the Yankees organization, as crazy as that sounds.
Some heated accusations.
And because those doggone teams knew the dice were going to stay hot.
Okay.
The dice were going to stay hot. They are 1-0 this week so far.
Correct.
They are 34-33-1 on the TTL pod. And I think they got a very serious shot of going 1-0 today, maybe 2-0 today, and then who knows, maybe 2-0 or 3-0 on the week.
Right.
So we'll let you guys wait around, stick around, and make sure you stop by for the third segment of today's show on the first half, the betting half of the show for the Moneyline Dice to come and roll for today's Marlins and Phillies matchup. Then, as always, right before we actually get into all of that, we'll flash up some best bets of the day on the screen for you, so you got a time to get out those sports books, hammer them in, get them locked in before anybody else, so they're already ready to rock and roll. Then, that'll wrap up the first half of the show. However, if you're one of the usual degenerates that just stop by for best bets, analysis, all that jazz in between, and you usually head on out of here once we get into the rants and reactions, I suggest you stick around today because we got a UFC Fight Night to break down. I'm bringing you my best bets. RMags might have some best bets in there as well. I'll dive through each one of the fights, breaking them down, and then we'll give you the main card parlay as well. I'm getting one of those to the window, and I believe this is the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be giving you some extra bets and everything on that end coming out of the UFC, the Fight Night Card this weekend to kick off today's Rants and Reactions. Then we'll give you a little British Open update, jump into some other sports news stuff in between. Who knows where we'll go, but it'll definitely be hot and it'll definitely be heavy. So make sure you stick around. Second half of today's show, Rants and Reactions. Last but not least, you guys give us your time, your support, your following, so I like to pay it back a little bit with a little bit of inspiration and motivation, some keys that I have been able to use to help me survive this thing called life. Today, giving you a little bit of a message on trusting your process. I've talked a lot about kind of going through the process and having fear and some different things. I obviously talked the whole speech on fear back a few days back if you listen to that Motivation Minutes. So I kind of wanted to culminate everything all together, close out the week strong, and give you some thoughts to take with you throughout the weekend. So that'll do it for my Motivation Minutes. Then we might jab back and forth a little bit, see what we're looking for the weekend, and let you guys get on about your Fridays. But for now, cut all the drama, stop all the banter, quit all the nonsense that you could go to every other sports media outlet and get. Boy, does it feel good to actually say this for real. You come to the TTL pod for the stone cold locks and running tickets to the window with the TTL crew all day and night long. So without further ado, on this beautiful July 16th, 2021, it's time to get into today's episode of the TTL pod, episode 82. If you have forgotten at any point in time by now, let's kick things off. First segment of the day, first half of the first segment of the day. If you haven't been here before, you're about to find out where we usually go. RMags, best bets of the day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, told you he's got 3 best bets coming at you. When he's got a light card, he's got the value. He's ready to rock and roll. He's battled a few minor technical difficulties this morning, but nonetheless, he's still bringing the heat. So I suggest you get out those mobile devices, rip open your favorite sports book, open those ear holes wide, and get ready to get some stone cold locks and facts dropped on your dome pieces. And as always, hey partner, you have the floor.
Alrighty, I appreciate it as always. So 3 plays coming out of me today. They are all going to be National League plays. A couple first fives. The first one is going to be Giants first 5 money line. Usually my partner, me? I don't know, my man, what's going on here?
Holy shit.
I am going Giants first 5 money line with Kevin Gausman on the mound versus Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals. Gausman, I'm not going to go too deep on Gausman because we all know the story. My partner has laid it out time and time again. He's got a 1.73 ERA on the season, and even better on the road, 1.35 over 11 road starts. He's allowed more than 1 earned run on the road only twice this season, and it was only 2 and 3 runs. He faced the Cardinals a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago or so. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, but 0 earned runs through 5. Might see a little bit of a quicker hook this time around, but nonetheless, I expect 0 earned runs or 1 earned run allowed once again through 5 innings. Cardinals offense was starting to heat up a little bit there before the break, but it was still, they still struggled above some of those above average pitchers, so I like Gausman to hold them down today in Busch Stadium. Giants ended first half on 4-game win streak and scored at least 5 runs in 7 of their last 9 games. Now they're well rested coming into this game against Adam Wainwright, who has been solid, but not quite Gausman great. Final start of first half was against these Giants, actually. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, and 4 walks. Cardinals actually got the first 5 and money line, but that was against Johnny Cueto for San Francisco on the mound. I think we see a similar performance from Wainwright. If it's 3 earned runs, that's great. If not, I kind of expect that 7 hits to turn into 4 or 5 earned runs this time around. But I see a low scoring first 5 in this one. But I'll take Gausman in a pitcher's duel with the potential of the Giants having the edge offensively in this one any day of the week. So first play of the day is going to be first 5 money line. Partner, are you riding this one with me?
You know I got to. You know these are my boys. You know I'll go to the well any damn time I have the opportunity to. However, today it just didn't trip my trigger the way it usually does. Honestly, got burned with Gozman in the last one, and it was against these Cardinals.
Right.
Just some pity pat stuff, man. And it's my personal agenda going on in my noggin. So as for your analysis, everything you laid down there, you got me back on the fucking train, pal.
Alrighty,
So
love to hear it.
I will be backing RMags' first best bet of the day, San Francisco Giants, first 5, money line. Pal, that's one. How about you hit him with number 2?
Alrighty, number 2 is going to be coming out of Coors Field, and I'm actually taking the LA Dodgers -1.5. Now, some things that we did say this week might have you thinking, what are you doing on this one? But I do like the Dodgers in this spot very specifically here for a few reasons. You've got Julio Urias, lefty on the mound for the Dodgers, versus Antonio Senzatella, righty for the Rockies. And obviously the Rockies have been very good at home, but this is a specific spot that I like the Dodgers in this one. Urias' career numbers, if you look at his career in Coors Field, the numbers don't look great, but high majority of that damage came earlier in his career, 4 or 5 years ago when he was 19, 20 years old. So he's matured and gotten some experience there and has actually been really good lately. This season, he had 1 start in Coors Field, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 Ks in a 4-2 win. I see a similar number, at least for Urias in that one, and I see the Dodgers putting up even more runs in his support this time around. He's got a 3.64 ERA on the season, 3.15 ERA in 10 road starts. So, even on the road this season, he's been even better. And like I said, Senzatella at home, he has been solid. I have backed him in many spots, but he's still got a 3.75 ERA in his home start. Not quite lights out. A lot better than his road starts, but still not quite lights out. And in 2 starts versus the Dodgers this year, partner, 1 home and 1 away, a total of 6 innings pitched between the 2 starts, 11 earned runs, 14 hits. So this Dodgers team batters him. They've got a 330 batting average and 398 OBP. Their lineup does in their careers, individually, collectively, versus Senzatella here. And the Dodgers offense was heating up a little bit before the break, while the Rockies, at least versus lefties, were cooling down a bit, at least from what they typically had been doing in Coors Field. Last thing I like here is that the Dodgers, they don't care whether they're in Coors Field or not. They own the Colorado Rockies in Colorado, in LA. It doesn't matter. 8-2 last 10 in Coors Field, 41-14 last 55 overall. And here in 2021, 7 games, the Dodgers are 6-1 straight up, 5-2 to the run line. That's 1 series in LA, 1 series in Colorado. So I like this dominance from Julio Urias to continue, and for the Dodgers to just beat the hell out of Antonio Senzatella once again for my second bet. Dodgers -1.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. You got me over to this one as well. I was first on the Rockies when I first saw this one this morning, but looking a little bit deeper into Senzatella and what he has done against the Dodgers so far, it's been less than stellar, and 5-2 for the Dodgers against the run line so far against the Rockies this season. But either way, hey, as always, quick little disclaimer before we let RMags continue. Might have a guest. She's getting a little rambunctious. Miss Matilda, the Talking the Line sports media mascot, might just pop in. Who knows? We always like to give you a disclaimer just in case you're allergic to cats, so you can leave the room. Move it right along, partner. One more time. Los Angeles Dodgers -1.5 for RMAG's second best bet of the day. And go ahead, just drop it on down with number 3, pal.
Alrighty, number 3, another first 5 action today, and you're going to like this one as well, my man. Going Cubs, first 5 money line versus the Diamondbacks with Kyle Hendricks on the mound versus Madison Bumgarner. Despite the Cubs' road struggles this season, on the road as a favorite, they're actually 8-4. We talked about that earlier on in the week when they have a pretty rough road record. However, when they play the teams that they are absolutely supposed to beat, they take care of business. 8-4, and Kyle Hendricks has been a bit of a helper in that number, if you will. He's got a sub-3 ERA in every single month since April. Obviously, April was rough for him. It inflated his overall numbers, so I believe his full season number is right around 3.77. However, May, June, July, all ERAs under 3 right now. And 2 earned runs or less in 4 of his last 5 starts, so he has been very good. I have been backing him in many different spots, and he has been working out well in my favor. And he's facing a Diamondbacks team. I mean, we all know the story. If you give him a lefty, I'm not saying they're world beaters, but they can definitely take care of business against lefties versus righties on the season. 224 batting average, 298 OBP. Never want to see an OBP under 300. Not good numbers. And against compared to the Cubs versus left-handers here, you've got the Cubs at 250 batting average, 324 OBP versus lefties. They are one of the better lefty-hitting teams in the league, and now they're facing Madison Bumgarner coming into his first start off of at least a month-long stint on the IL, and he wasn't very good before that either. He had a nice little stretch there where he figured things out for 2-3 starts, and then he quickly reverted back to 4 or 5 type earned run outings. So I could see him kind of figuring himself out here as we get along into it, but coming back off the IL versus a very solid lefty hitting team, I don't see him figuring out today. I think he gives up at least 3 earned runs, but not to mention he's even worse at home this season with a 7.15 ERA. Not saying it's going to be that bad. I think I do like Madison Bumgarner on the season. I think he's going to figure some things out, but not today. Cubs 8-3 last 11 straight up in Arizona. That is a nice little, Arizona trip for them once again. Yeah. So I definitely like them in this spot. Don't know about the rest of this series, but with Kyle Hendricks on the mound partner, I'll take their first 5 money line, and I'll probably even sprinkle their full game as well.
Well, I can't not back you in this situation. Yeah, I'm with you, my man. I think Hendricks has been way more dominant than his top line numbers give him credit for, and he's been able to do it without a dominant fastball, and that is what always amazes me the most. He is so doggone good. And how about that? Mr. Magnuson's technical difficulties after he finishes up all of his analysis finally alleviate themselves and clear themselves up. So, hey, how about that? You absolutely murdered that. There are his 3 best bets of the day. Not going to say them again, but partner, you got anything else you need to lay down, discuss, talk about, get off the chest before we keep this first segment steaming on down the tracks?
Let's get it rolling. I'm all good.
All right, pal. Well, hey, without further ado, then we ain't going to waste no time. It's time for the second half of the first segment of today's show, episode number 82, July 16th, 2021. Don't have to check your calendars anymore. I'll tell you about 10 more times throughout today's show, but let's get into my best bets of the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, gamblers, degenerates, far and wide, anybody in between, whoever you might be, listen on up. 4 best bets coming at you today. I got 2, not 3, 2 coming out of one game. Now, unlike my partner, I'm questioning some starts here to the season, or to the second half of the season. I want to see if we're sticking to some trends, if stuff's going to happen. Now, we dove deep into a bunch of stuff, and you are playing the trends that we highlighted, found, looked up, and I absolutely love it.
Except for maybe the Dodgers. There's a very specific spot that I like. But
Either way, absolutely love that. I, too, am sticking with the analysis and the trends, but I'm liking a little bit of a slower start into or out of the All-Star break, rather. So I got a couple key plays. I got 2 total plays, and then I got a first 5 money line and a full game money line. All right. So here we go. Without further ado, hesitation. The stage is now set. You know where I'm going. First, best bet of the day. Headed to the matchup between the Texas Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Not taking a side, going to the game total. I am taking under 10 runs. Now, you might look at me right away. You might want to turn off the pod, but I highly suggest you don't, because this is one of the most valuable plays on today's board. This one, if you look at the pitcher matchup, you might see Jordan Lyles for the Rangers and think that he's going to get bombed on all day long. Actually, he's been a little bit better than he started out this season, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. But then also Robbie Ray. You might have seen some of the past struggles in 5 or 6 of the last starts that he's had, but I like him to come out of the gates firing once again here in the second half of the season and return to the dominant form that he started this season for the Toronto rotation. Now, let me break those boys down a little bit more, because they do loom very large for me and why I think this total is going to stay under, regardless of what anybody wants to tell you how good these bullpens have been. Yeah, they're not so well. They got both above 3.5 ERAs, but that's right in the middle of the pack of the MLB right now. Every bullpen is like that, and I think both of these starting pitchers keep this total low enough to get things kicked off, that even if we get into the bullpen, they're not going to give up nowhere near enough runs to get this total over 10 or 9.5, wherever you're seeing it at your favorite book. Now, for Lyles, I told you he started the season struggling, but I also told you that he's starting to kind of rebound and starting to find his own here. He had a 6.75 ERA in April, 5.06 ERA in May, 3.81 in June, and now has a 3.00 ERA in July, so has consistently improved month over month in the first half of the MLB season. He is 3-0 in his last 3 starts overall with an ERA of 2.37 over 19 innings pitched. He went 6 innings twice and 7 innings once in those 3 starts, so he's been able to be dominant, and the Rangers pitching coaches have had faith to allow him to continue to go deep into these games. And I think they should continue to let him do that today, because he has not faced this Toronto offense this season, and he's only faced 3 guys on the lineup, the starting lineup in his career. Those 3 guys are actually struggling a little bit right now. Those 3 guys are Springer, Simeon, and Grichuk. Now, they're not falling off the face of the earth, but they're also not mashing the ball like they typically would, or what I think they typically would against Jordan Lyles here today. Last but not least, Jordan Lyles has gone at least 6 innings in 6 out of his last 8 starts, and he's given up 2 earned runs or less in 5 of those 8 starts. So I love him to continue those trends, but as for Robbie Ray, I love him to remain dominant as he has been all season long. A few hiccups here or there, but I think he comes out of the gates firing, just like I told you a few minutes ago. He's gone 6 innings pitched or more in 8 out of his last 10 starts overall, and he's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 7 out of those 10 starts. I apologize. The outliers were 3, 3, and 4 earned runs, so it's not like he's absolutely given up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 runs. It's still a very minimal total, and I like him to give up no more than 3 earned runs here today. Versus Texas in his career, he has found some success. 28 at-bats, 0.37 batting average allowed, 131 on-base percentage, and a 168 OPS. That is not a typo. That is a 168 OPS. I believe that the Rangers will kind of go up to the mean a little bit, have a little bit of success, but like I said, I don't think it's going to be any more than 3 earned runs today. Some final key trends. Texas is 2-1-1 to the under in their last 4 games overall. Toronto is 5-2 to the under in their last 7 games overall. Very surprising with how high-powered that offense is. 7 of Robbie Ray's last 10 starts overall have gone to the under, and 11 of his 17 starts overall on the season have gone to the under. 6 out of Jordan Lyles' 9 road starts overall this season have gone to the under, and the under is 2-1 in the 3 meetings between these 2 teams this season, with the last 5 dating back to last season being 3-1-1 to the under. Give me all of the under here. I think it's way too high, way too high for 10 runs here today coming out of the All-Star break. It's rated on OddsShark right now. Toronto 4 runs to Texas 1.2 runs. I think we see a little bit more of that, but even if we see 7, 8, even 9 runs, this still comes way under the total. Might be a little bit of a sweat, but I don't think so. I think we'll come way under it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. My first best bet of the day, Texas Rangers versus Toronto Blue Jays under 10 runs.
Yeah, I like this one with you as well. I think it's going to be less sweaty as well. I really like Robbie Ray, no question about it. And yeah, as you mentioned, I think a lot of people would be concerned about Jordan Lyles. I'm right there with you. He's been solid, and I think he's going to continue that. But all in all, I really think Robbie Ray is going to show out tonight. But nonetheless, I love that under, 10 runs?
Under 10 runs, right. Might be a 9.5. I saw it ticking down in some places right before we started recording. So there you go. First best bet of the day. Excuse me. Moving on in to my second best bet of the day, I'm going over to the matchup between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Atlanta Braves. And once again, I'm going to the game total, and I am taking under 8.5 runs. I absolutely love this one as well because both offenses really haven't been lighting up the scoreboard in any capacity. The Braves are without some of their key offensive guys in Ozuna, Acuna, and D'Arnaud. I think it's going to be very critical for them going into the rest of the MLB season that they're not going to have a lot of their key run producers, and they're battling injuries going into this. However, their pitching staff, I believe, is going to be able to keep them in some games here, and Charlie Morton is going to have to be a key contributing factor to that. Now, that is the pitching matchup, Charlie Morton versus Michael Wacha, and I believe that Charlie Morton, like I said, looms large. I don't have enough faith in him to back him for a first 5 win or even a moneyline win, but I do have enough faith in him to keep this total low. Mm-hmm. He has gone 6 innings pitched or more in 4 out of his last 6 starts. He's allowed 0 earned runs in 3 of his last 5 starts, and he's coming off of a 7-inning shutout performance and not to mention the under is 5-1-1 in his last 7 starts overall. He has been a money man to the under. Well, you got another pitcher on the mound, Michael Wacha. And if you look at his top line numbers, you look at some of his further back in the season, games, you think that he's not the guy to keep this total under. But here recently, he's been a little bit better. He's been trending in the right direction, and I think we see a doggone good performance from him here today against the Braves. He's allowed 1 earned run or less in 7 out of his last 10 starts. He's coming off of a 1 earned run outing over 6 innings pitched in his last one. And even though the Braves have had some good success against him in his career, I think we see a little bit of a regression to the mean. Some of those numbers are a little bit too inflated for my liking to have enough faith for them to put up a bunch of runs here today. 4 out of his last 5 starts overall for Wacha, that being, have finished with 8 runs or less, and the under is 3-2-2 in his last 7 starts overall, with those 2 pushes being at 8 runs. So if we go to 8 runs, that's under 8.5, baby. That's a winner. If you don't like all of that with the pitching matchup, couple final trends I wanted to let you guys know about. Take note of the under is 4-0 in the Rays' last 4 overall and 6-2 in their last 8 games overall. The under is 5-0-1 in Morton's last 6 starts during game 1 of a series. The under is 4-0 in the last 4 games for Atlanta, where they play at home, and the total is set at 10 or higher. And this game is rated right now on OddsShark, Atlanta 2.8 to Tampa Bay 0.8. Obviously, you can't have 0.8 runs, so I like Tampa Bay to at least put up a run or 2, and the Braves here to put up 3 or 4. Hey, if they do that, that stays way under 8.5, no problem whatsoever. So, second best bet of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to the Rays versus Braves under 8.5 runs.
Yeah, I'll be right there with you on this one as well, my man. I was struggling to pick a side, kind of like you were hinting at, as far as Braves or Rays, but I think he got the highest value in this game, no question about it. Charlie Morton has been too damn good, and I'll just echo your statement again. Michael Wacha, the surface numbers, might be a little concerning to you, but the more you look into it, he's been a solid guy. So I'll be right there with you on this one as well.
Well, thank you, my friend. There you go. There you have it. Second best bet of the day. Let's get into number 3 and 4. Coming out of one game, the matchup between the Seattle Mariners and the Los Angeles Angels. My friends, if you haven't been here before, you're about to find out. I'm going back to the well, even more than the well of my San Francisco Giants, boys, my second favorite team in the NL. I got to go to my first favorite team in the AL at the current present time, especially with this specific pitcher on the mound. I'm taking the Seattle Mariners first 5 run line plus a half, and I'm also taking the Seattle Mariners full game money line. Let me tell you why. Now, mention a little bit of pitching action.
Sure.
We got Chris Flexen on the mound for the Seattle Mariners and Andrew Heaney on the mound, the lefty, for the Angels. Now, if you haven't heard the name Flexen, I don't know if you've been sleeping under a rock or what the hell you've been doing, but I'm about to school you up here a little bit. He has been the most dominant pitcher on this Mariners pitching rotation. He has been so doggone good. As a matter of fact, he is the number 1 pitcher in the MLB when it comes to money wins. He is 12-4 on the season, up $944 if you bet a $100 bet on him throughout the entire season so far. I love him to continue that trend, and I think he ends the season as the number 1 money pitcher, and that trend stays firm. If you don't believe me on all of that, he's given 1 earned run or less up in 5 out of his last 8 starts. His road numbers haven't been great, but they're inflated because of 1 bad outing in San Diego on May the 21st. That was quite a few moons ago, so I think those start to even out here into the second half of the season. He's gone 6 innings pitched or more in 7 out of his last 8 starts, and not to mention, he has a 0.69 ERA in the month of July so far. That should absolutely continue to stay right there. I don't like it to go above 1. I think he keeps this consistent at least through the first half here. And last but certainly not least, he's faced Los Angeles so far this year. He's gone 11 innings against them, and he owns a 2.45 ERA, 31 at-bats, 148 batting average, 197 OBP, and a 420 OPS. So I love Flexen to continue dominating this Angels offense, who I think is going to be trying to kill the ball way too much coming out of the All-Star break, trying to get some much-needed wins on the board with what has been kind of a lackluster season with some of these injuries that they've had to deal with. Now, for Andrew Heaney for the Angels on the bump, I told you he's a lefty. He hasn't been great at any spot at all. His top line numbers are terrible, and there's a reason for it, because he hasn't been very good at all. He's had 8 home starts so far this season. He's got a 3-2 record, 5.40 ERA, and a 265 opponent batting average allowed. He has actually stayed above 5.00 ERA all season long, month over month, and he's got a 5.06 ERA right now in the month of July. I like that to continue to tick up because all of his ERAs also have been closer to over 5.50. So I don't have any type of faith to back him here in the first 5. I like the Mariners to have the outright victory, but you always know me. I like to have a little additional backing on the run line plus a half. Not to mention, Heaney has a 10.80 ERA in 3.1 innings pitched against 3 1/3 innings pitched against these Mariners so far this season. He has not done well at all against them in his career. 82 at bats, 240 batting average, 335 OBP, and an 845 OPS. And not to mention, the Angels have lost 3 out of his last 4 starts overall. So that kind of takes care of it, why I absolutely love the first 5, but why I also love the money line and why I think you should hammer it in as well. First things first, it's a nice plus money, Paulie, right around plus 130 at the current moment, but Seattle has won 5 out of the last 7 flexing starts. Seattle is 6-4 in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. All of them have been in 2021, and they are, with these 2 pitchers on the mound, Flexen won twice already, 2-0 and 7-4, and this exact pitching matchup happened. Flexen lost 7-4.
Heaney lost.
Or Heaney lost. I apologize. Thank you for keeping me honest, my friend. Heaney lost 7-4. Seattle 3-1 straight up in their last 4 overall, 4-0 straight up in their last 4 Friday games, 12-2 in their last 14 versus a left-handed pitcher, 5-2 straight up in their last 7 on the road, and Seattle is 17-8 straight up in their last 25 games overall. The Los Angeles Angels 13-31 straight up in their last 44 Friday games. You know I'm a homer for the day of the week trends, and I had to go far back to see if they really were that bad. And the Angels 1-6 straight up in their last 7 games versus the AL West. Give me all of the Mariners money line here today. I love when road dogs are right around that plus 120 mark. I think that the Mariners have plenty of value with Flexen on the mound, as well as their bats heating up just a little bit here and hitting pretty well against lefties in their last 10 games overall. So one more time out of this one, my 2 best bets coming. Seattle Mariners first 5 run line plus a half, and the Seattle Mariners full game money line.
I'll be right there with you on both of these, my man. I mean, that line really tells me that I don't know if it's disrespect from the books or that the public clearly has not caught on to the Flexen and the Mariners money train, right. Because that's exactly what he has been, a money train. And as you mentioned, he has been out of this world at home, and I think we start to see that. I mean, like you said, some early bad starts on the road. He's been better lately, but I think we start to see that dominance bleed into the road starts, and I think it starts today. And then you're getting that extra insurance with Heaney on the mound today, so I'll be right there with you. I love these 2.
Heck yeah, my friend. This was honestly the first one that I saw. I honestly didn't dive too deep into the Giants, as they're my usual go back to the well. I saw Flex, and I saw the line at the plus 130. I saw what the plus a half was on the first 5. I said, these 2 are my best bets. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go, my 4 best bets of the day, right behind RMags' 3 best bets of the day. If you missed any of them, I apologize. I'm sorry. We ain't talking about them anymore. You're going to have to wait just a little while before we get through the second segment of the day and we flash up the best bets of the day on the screen. Right now, time to get into the second segment of today's show. Once again, episode number 82, July 16th, 2021. Now, you really don't have to check your calendar. Said it 3 times. Here we go. Going to probably say it 10 by the end of the show. Time to get into today's special play of the day. Now, get your time traveling jackets on, if you will. We are going back to Thursday right fast and bringing it to the future. Just like that. Everything happened. It is now Thursday,
right?
But we are in the present moment.
We're not going back. We're dragging Thursday.
We drag Thursday here, okay? So we're here, all right? It happened. I know you probably felt a little shift. Your equilibrium might be a little off, but it's okay. It's all right. Everything's going to be fine in just a minute, all right? So here we go. Without further ado, today's special play. Triple Play Thursday Parlay has been brought into Triple Play Friday Parlay. We dragged it. You can see. We literally dragged it over from Thursday. Mm-hmm. once again, your balance will start to even out here soon. Hold on, relax, and then just about the time we push it off the screen, you'll be just fine. Everything will be good. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. We got 3 legs coming at you here today. Told you the grand total odds on the Triple Play Friday Parlay are plus 683. Ooh. Juicy. So, partner, if you could be so kind as to kick things off here, whatever leg you like, as always, I'll piggyback behind you, pick up whatever you didn't say. We'll dish this bad boy out, and then we'll get into some best bets of the day.
Alrighty. First leg of this one going to be coming out of I believe it's the first game of the slate. It is going to be 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, but we've got the Twins money line in game 1 of their doubleheader versus the Tigers. Mm-hmm. Now, we have liked the Tigers a lot in many different spots this year, or at least the last month or so. However, the exception lies with Mr. Jose Urena. He is a fade city, as my partner would say, 4 earned runs or more in last 5 starts. And as my man here would say, it's a little bit more on the or more side of things. So we got no faith in Jose Urena today. Now, I know I kicked this one off. However, I know you have a little bit more on the other guy on the mound. Charlie Barnes is going to be making his first start in the MLB today. Can you lay down a little bit on him at all?
Yeah, I absolutely can. He came into the MLB, or the minor league system, rather, back in 2017. 2017, 2018, dominant as all hell. Sub-3 ERA, was all over the board. Then we had a little bit of a hiccup in 2019, above 4 ERA. A little bit of a rough outing. He was down in the minors. Then they kicked him up to AAA ball. Hey, man, we want to see what the hell you can do. We want to bring you up to the MLB. Brought that down to a 3.6, a little bit above a 3.5 ERA, which is where we find him now. He's got 326 strikeouts with 136 walks allowed. He's got right around a 220 opponent batting average allowed. You know me, if you've listened before, man, I beat the drum on guys getting their first official MLB start, and you're going to give me this guy in a game 1 of a doubleheader where we only got to go 7 innings, and from what I have been able to tell so far with my brief research, I think he's going at least 5 or 6 here. He might close this bad boy out, and I think we see a great showing.
Yeah, not to mention, I just have all the faith in the world that the Twins are going to beat the hell out of Jose Urena once again. We kind of meet in the middle on this one. I've been fading him. I know you have also, but I mean, obviously you like your guys in their first start. So
hell yeah.
Love this one today. First leg is going to be the Twins money line in game 1.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Game 2. Quite a valuable play. Now, we look at each other sometimes and we say, hey, what the hell's going on here? There is boatloads of money flying in on this side,
right,
without a very high bet percentage. So they've attracted sharp bettors, but everything doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem right with some of the pitching matchup with what's going on. So we got one of those, and some of those you can't really all too much explain it sometimes in the MLB, but it makes really good sense in some certain situations. So today, for the second leg of the Triple Play Friday Parlay, we are taking the Washington Nationals money line. It's right around plus 120. Might have dropped down even more. It's been consistently dropping all morning, and sharp money has been flying in on it all day. I think it's an extremely valuable play because Washington has had really good success against Chris Paddock in San Diego, and one of those guys who has not faced Chris Paddock, Kyle Schwarber. So you ain't got to worry about that. You can take him completely out of there, and the numbers are really, really good for the Nationals. So I think that they continue to have success against him here today. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. Hell, Juan Soto coming off of the All-Star game, he looked really, really, really good.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's going to have an all-star second half of the season, and I think he's a big contributing factor. We might even see Washington go up 4-0, 3-0 early here, and then it's a nice little sweat towards the end where they get a one-run victory somehow. But man, I love the Nationals money line here today.
Yeah, same with you. The only thing that I can add is Eric Fedde. You might look at his surface numbers and be a little concerned. He's trending upwards, at least at home. Last 2 home starts, a big old goose egg for Fedde in his last 2 home starts. So not to say that he's going to shut out the Padres again today, but he's been at least a little bit more consistent at home than Chris Paddock has been overall. He's been a little inconsistent, but as you said, against these Nats, I love the Nats to beat him up again today.
Yeah, man. I hadn't really focused on that because I was pretty doggone scared to say anything about how bad his top line numbers have been, but he's been pretty doggone good in Washington, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. Second leg on the Triple Play Friday Parlay, Washington Nationals money line. Third and final leg, my partner picked this one out. He said, hey, man, I don't know. What are we thinking? Where are we feeling? Where are we going? I say, you know what? I got enough faith in it to back it. This doesn't seem like a setup line to me. It's been a little weird. It's been a little odd, but I think these are two teams that are going to go in opposite directions come the second half of the season here. Right. I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but that is playing into a lot of our bets. You got to think about where these teams are going for the second half here. It's a whole new season. We got 80-plus more games to play here, ladies and gentlemen. So for the third leg of the Triple Play Friday Parlay, we are taking the Oakland Athletics -1.5. Now, we did tell you on Monday, one thing you shouldn't do when there's big, long lines, -200, -180, right around in that ballpark, that you shouldn't run to the -1.5. However, there are a few of those on today's board, but this one has some doggone value. Now, my partner's got a few things that I know he'd like to lay down on it. I believe that the Indians are going to start kind of tailing off here and fading down.
And they already had been a little bit, too.
And I think that's going to loom pretty large. I think we might have a bit of a tight game through the first 4 or 5 or maybe 6, and then Oakland will bust it wide open. Bassett didn't look the best in the All-Star game, so I'm not sure what we get from him. I mean, his top-line numbers are solid, but it's a little hit or miss with him. However, pitching at home, I got some faith in him to at least give us 2 runs backing here once we get up. I like him to totally limit the Indians. And then that Oakland A's bullpen is dominant as well. So, partner, anything else you got on that one?
I mean, the biggest thing here, at least for, maybe not the biggest thing, but a big thing for me here is that Eli Morgan, if all 5 of his starts this season, at least 3 runs or more allowed for him. As you mentioned, Bassett hasn't been lights out, but he's been at least pretty consistently giving up, actually very consistently 2 earned runs. I think he's got a blip here pretty recently where it was more than that, but 2 earned runs is pretty standard for him. Maybe not a guy that you put money on first 5s, but as far as the full game, I do like it. And the Indians are another team that I mentioned. Some of these teams in the Midwest, when they have to travel out west, have some struggles historically, especially recently. In this matchup overall, Indians are 1-7 last 8 meetings, and in Oakland, 20-43 of their last 63 in Oakland. I mentioned it with my White Sox for whatever reason when they travel out west, Oakland being one of them. Weird struggles, weird things happen. Sometimes it's fatigue, jet lag. Sometimes it's just goofy ass, weird, baseball things. And it's like, what the hell? It's just baseball, baby. But it's an unignorable trend here, and I think we're gonna have another one today. And I think the A's put up a boatload of runs on Eli Morgan. Honestly,
yep, gonna be no problem at all getting that -1.5 covered. I do believe so. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the Triple Play brought in from Thursday. Now Friday parlay. Send it back into Thursday. Whoa. Hey, I told you guys you'd be feeling better. Equilibrium all straight. Everything good? Yeah, see? We just dragged it in. I'm all good to go, man. Hey, maybe you might want to take one of those pills. Get all that good to go then. We've gone back to the future a few times. It's been pretty sweet. It's been pretty sweet, and we're glad we had the opportunity to do that for you guys here today. So without further ado, now that we're back in Friday, we're here in the present. Thank you once again for joining us on July 16th, 2021, 4 times now today. How about we get those best bets of the day up on the screen. So get out those sports books, whatever one is your favorite, and get ready to smash in today's best bets of the day coming from the TTL Crew. Now live on your screen for the first time ever. Partner, why am I so confused? Where are we coming from here?
That is going to be Atlanta Truist Park, I believe.
Truist Park. And we got Delta up there.
Hey, man.
That's interesting.
I don't make the sponsorship.
Hey, I don't make the sponsorships either.
I don't know if that's very up to date or not, but I Googled Truist Park and threw up that image. So
hey, either way, we're not worried about where we're broadcasting live from. We're worried about the stuff that's up on the screen, the best bets of the day, the stuff you need to hammer in. So one more time here, ladies and gentlemen, up on the left half of your screen. If you are not watching but you're listening, I'm about to tell you RMags picks of the day. He is taking the Giants first 5 money line, the Los Angeles Dodgers -1.5 for the full game, and the Chicago Cubs first 5 money line. Over to the right side of that, the right portion of your screen, you got my best bets of the day. I am taking 2 totals, Texas versus Toronto under 10, and the Tampa Bay Rays versus Atlanta Braves under 8.5. Then I got 2 plays coming out of the Seattle Mariners versus Los Angeles Angels matchup. I am taking the Mariners first 5 run line plus a half, and the Mariners full game money line. Below all of that, turn your attention to the Triple Play Friday Parlay. We are now back in the present. The 3 legs on the bad boy parlayed up for plus 683 odds or somewhere about there. Twins, game 1 money line, the one with Uranus and Charlie
I'm sorry.
on the mound. Either way, no problem. The one where Urena is getting the start. Game 1 money line, Nationals money line, and Oakland Athletics minus 1.5. You never know what you're going to get here at the TTL pod. No big deal, no problem whatsoever. Do you have his last name though? However,
Charlie Barnes. Is
Charlie
that what you're
Barnes.
asking for?
Yes, that is exactly. I knew it started with a B, but I didn't want to disrespect the young man in his first official start. So there you go, the Triple Play Friday Parlay. And today's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 best bets of the day. Lock them in, hammer home, sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese down, whatever you need to say. Just make sure you get today's TTL Crew best bets of the day in it, whatever the current best line is on your favorite sports book. Now, if you are watching live, you might see some additional wording here right next to us, right next to my partner's head in yonder direction. That is the Moneyline Dice. It is time for today's Moneyline Dice roll of the day, wrapping up the first half of the show. We told you, Game 1 versus the Miami Marlins and the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's get into it. Today's Moneyline Dice roll of the day. All right. Well, our honorable guests have graced us with their presence. As I get everything set up here for the viewing pleasure of those joining us here today, could you please, partner, they know who the pitchers are, but if you could remind them, but they don't know where we're playing at. They have no clue who the favorites or dogs are, nor do I. Haven't really looked too deep into this one because it was quite confusing with the pitching matchup. So if you could be so kind to lay the scene down here, I'll get everything all set up, and I'll see you in just a few brief minutes.
Alrighty, so as my partner mentioned, we've got Miami at Philadelphia. We are in Citizens Bank Park this afternoon, 3:05 p.m. Central Standard Time start. Sandy Alcantara versus Matt Moore for the Phillies. And the Phillies are actually coming in as the underdog in this game, despite the way they finished the first half of the season. Plus 106 for the Phils, with the Marlins getting minus 124 on the money line. Run line, minus 1.5 for the Marlins at plus 155. And the Phillies, plus 1.5 is at minus 173. Over-under for this game. This is a 7-inning game, so the over-under is a 7-run total over-under. And the bets and money slips here, 55% of the bets and money coming in on the Phillies. However, the sharp indicator is on the Miami Marlins, meaning the guys who know what the hell they're doing are back in the Miami Marlins. Total, a little bit of a big old different story. The bet slip percentage, 50-50 over under. However, 95% of the money is on the under 7 runs. So some massive money coming in on the under there for this game, under 7. And as I mentioned, Sandy Alcantara versus Matt Moore. And these guys, Sandy Alcantara has been very, very good this season. However, as my partner and I have noticed, and many of you have probably noticed, despite how good some of these Marlins pitchers are, their offense can leave a lot to be desired. Matt Moore, however, has been pretty good lately, actually. Doesn't go deep into the game. Started the season, it looks like he was in the bullpen, and then he's been making some starts here lately. He's got 6 starts on the season, so this will be number 7 for him, 13th appearance. Has not allowed more than 2 earned runs the last few months. He had a rough April, 9.82 ERA, and then quickly turned that around, 3.68 in May. If I misspoke there, 9.82 in April, I apologize. And then lately, he's been pretty solid, has not gone over 2 earned runs allowed. The Phillies have won each of his last 3 starts. And now Alcantara, like I said, he's been pretty solid. 3.09 ERA. Has been getting hit up a little bit lately. He's allowed at least 3 earned runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. Last one was against the Dodgers, however, and then he had a nice little start in early July versus the Braves. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. Actually, no earned runs. That's a 1 unearned run. So he was pretty solid there, and then had a bit of a setback versus the Dodgers. So we're a little confused on this one. I was leaning towards the Marlins, but as I mentioned, the Marlins offense can leave a lot to be desired, and this Phillies offense has actually been turning things around there at the end of the first half. It took 2 out of 3 from both the Red Sox and my partner's Cubbies here. Actually, 3 out of 4. I apologize from his Cubs. So, after a nice little, kind of a ho-hum little stretch there, they're starting to turn things around. A lot of people think they can make a push for the division, and it's going to have to start this weekend against the Miami Marlins and kind of bury them at the bottom of the division. Because despite being 39-50, they are not. I'm not saying they have a chance necessarily, but they are not. They're not too many games out of the AL East lead here. Only 9 games for a team that's 11 games under 500. That ain't terrible. Probably going to be some sellers here, but for today, we leave it to the dice.
Not up to us.
Not up to us.
It's up to them. So now for the first time live on this, now for the 5th time, July 16th, 2021. Partner, whenever you're ready, pal.
I am ready.
All right. Let's rock and roll. The Moneyline Dice are now live on your screen. You see them, and let's get into today's roll. First roll of the day, as always, home or away. Are we going with the home team, Philadelphia Phillies, or are we going with the away team, Miami Marlins? Let's find out in 3, in 2, in 1.
Home team Phillies.
Home team Phillies for the Dice first unofficial selection of the day. Will we be taking the Phillies on the money line or on the run line? We all find out in 3, in 2, in 1.
Oh boy. Money line. A little plus money action on the Phillies. Money line at home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So for the first unofficial bet for the Moneyline Dice, we are taking the Phillies money line. But you know the deal, wild card roll. Are we going to be giving the dice some extra face time today and re-rolling everything? Are they going to be doubling down for maybe the 5th or 6th Friday in a row? Or are they just going to skip all that nonsense and go right for the total? Once again, we all find out in 3, in 2, in 1.
What does it say? I can't see it. Is that home money line? That is a double and down.
It is a home
on
money
the home
line.
Puppies. 23-16 at home this year. The Phillies. 17-29. The Marlins are on the road. Get me away from that pitcher matchup. It don't matter today. What a showing from the dice. Don't bump your head down there.
The dice have spoken. If you want a guaranteed take a ticket to the window here tonight, no questions asked, no qualms, no thoughts, none of the nonsense. Hammered in right now, you see it on your screen. Doubled down by the Moneyline Dice. Philadelphia Phillies money line. Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank
I
you,
like
Dice.
it. I like it.
I like the play. I like another plus money Paulie to add to the card here today. So once again, if you didn't catch it, you didn't hear it, you heard me tongue-tied, not sure, and you're not watching it live, hammer in per the Moneyline Dice. Philadelphia Phillies money line. Look at those dice. Look at them glistening in the TTL production studios. You can see they are translucent, and once you get them close, they become just some solid black dye. Well, now that they are a little bit closer with all the light, they do look a lot more translucent, but when there's not as much light, they just look like, they almost look just completely dark, just like that.
Sure.
It's pretty doggone sweet. So,
I was gonna say, if it wasn't gonna show off the entire studio, I could flash it up like that. But
yeah, but hey, either way, if you want to start rolling with the crew, or not even with the crew, just with the Moneyline Dice and yourself, you enjoy the plays that they have been dishing out on the TTL pod, and you've yet to secure your own set, may I remind you, they are 34, 33, and 1 on the TTL pod, better than 50%, and actually plus a lot of units with some of the recent plus money parlays that they have been cashing. So I suggest you get your own set. If you've just been sitting here watching us cash tickets with the Moneyline Dice and you have not secured a set of these bad boys yet, do it right now. And we make it super easy for you to do. You don't have to scroll through the internet. You don't have to use the old Google machine or the Bing device, or whatever the hell you use or these kids are doing nowadays. Maybe you saw it on TikTok somewhere. However, we make it super easy for you. Just go to this episode's description. The second link you're going to see down all the way at the bottom is the moneylinedice.com website. You can go on there, select anything you want from their online store. Nothing is off limits. They have the dice, they have a tracking book, and they have a loads and loads of stuff in between. Suggest you head on over there, pick out what you want. Once again, nothing off limits. You get it in your cart, and when you go to check out, we'll give you an offer code, give you a little bit of something in return. I mean, come on here. Now, you enter code TTL10 at checkout. You're going to get 10% off your first order at moneylinedice.com. No, not only that, it's going to let Moneyline Dice know that we sent you on over yonder and that you're here to support the TTL Sports Media crew and help us get bigger and better for each and every one of you. So, hey, head on over to moneylinedice.com, enter code TTL10 at checkout. All of that information is down in this episode's description. So head on over there, get all that action, and start rolling right alongside the crew in the all-knowing, ever-present, all-powerful Moneyline Dice.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice. What a showing.
What a showing here today. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate your help. Thank you, Dice. Let's get these. Oh, yeah, and comes with a handy-dandy carrying case.
Yeah, I like that, man. I mean, Sandy Alcantara can still be pretty damn solid, and that could still be a winner for us. I don't know if you heard, but the big money coming in on the under. 98% of the action coming in on the under.
Wowza.
50-50 bet slips over under, but 98% of the money.
Wowza.
Under.
Wowza, kapowza. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here we are. Let's, producer Colt, real quick, wrap a few things up, make sure everything is good to go for the remainder of today's show. All right, looks good. Feeling better. All right, that does it for today's Moneyline Dice roll of the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, it is that time. That is all of our best bets of the day. The special play, the Triple Play Friday Parlay. The Moneyline Dice have told you to hammer in the Philadelphia Phillies money line, and we've given you every bit of analysis, trend, and insight we can in relation to all of those. We got nothing else. So, if you are one of the kind, degenerate gambling pals of ours that just stops by for the best bets and all of the aforementioned stuff, and you're about to head out of here to get your weekend started, first things first, hope you have a spectacular rest of your Friday and a killer start to the weekend. You know we are here to cash some doggone tickets. Cannot wait for this action to kick off here today. I'm so happy it's a little bit of an early slate. Makes this wait a little bit more bearable.
Yeah, I would not have put it past them to do an entirely loaded evening slate.
No.
I would not have put it past them.
Not at all. Not at all, being the MLB. However, I hope you don't skip on out because we got some UFC and some action, plenty of stuff to talk about here and some bets to dish out very shortly in the second half of the day's show in the Rants and Reactions. But if you are headed out of here, you got stuff to do, you'll come back and watch later, whatever the case might be. Peace and love. Thank you guys so much for your support, your following, and helping us bankrupt these sports books one play at a time. We will see you guys back on around the corner of this thing they call a weekend on Monday, the day to start the week. We're bringing the vibes. We're bringing the heat for episode number 83 of the Talking the Line podcast. We'll see you then. But for the rest of you, sticking around for the second half of today's show, it's time. It is time. It's time. It's time for today's Rants and Reactions. We are live. live from the TTL Production Studios in Chicago for UFC Fight Night 27, Makhachev vs. Moises. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this man is a street fighter. He will use any part of his body to get the sought-after victory. Coming in at a perfect 6 feet tall and weighing just what he should for his division, the rumbling, the tumbling, baddest degenerate gambler on the planet, Riley RMags Magnuson. Welcome in, sir. Welcome in. Our TTL mascot was wondering what in the hell I was doing there.
Protecting me right now.
Oh, hello, girl. How you doing down there? She sure was. She had no idea what was happening. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to get into the rants and reactions, the first half. Come here, girl. You want to say hi?
And kicking off the British Open update.
She don't want to say hi. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, kicking things off with the first. Let me get my seat scooted in. You got the Moneyline Dice, got me all goofed up here. All right, it's time to get into this weekend's UFC Fight Night Card, Makhachev vs. Moises. We have an absolute heater of a fight night to get into here, ladies and gentlemen. So as always, let's kick things off. Let's keep this show just steaming on down the tracks. We got about half hour, 45 minutes or so. We'll probably go here for the rants and reactions. So there's the first hour dead and gone, right out the window. Let's keep it moving. You got ESPN pulls up.
Sure do.
Looks like I do loves that. Let me pull up the old FanDuel Sportsbook free plug. It's my favorite book out there. And let's get into this doggone card. All right, prelims, ladies and gentlemen. I'll actually also pull up the old.
So first
ESPN
question
night.
is,
Go
the
ahead.
elephant in the room. There's a handful of Brazilians on this card. Are we
Brazilian
sticking
card.
true to your what's the word, rules?
So you want to know what's the most fucked up part?
What's that?
Is you know my two hashtags.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag don't fade or don't bet against Brazilians.
Right.
And hashtag don't fade Russians.
Right.
The problem here is that the main event just happens to be between a Russian and a Brazilian man.
Okay.
So I have no fucking idea yet where I'm going.
Okay.
We're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to discuss things. Not quite sure what alley I am heading in. But yes, this is a Brazilian heavy card. And when they do that, the Brazilians take over. So probably going to have some Brazilian plays for you here today, ladies and gentlemen. Kicking off the card, you have Alan Baudot and Rodrigo Nascimento. Not too sure about those two guys. I'm not even sure either one of them have had a UFC fight so far. Yes, Baudot did, but he lost in KO in the round one to Aspinall. Aspinall is a dominant force in the heavyweight division. And then Nascimento
He's had a couple.
has had a couple, but
lost to Chris Daukaus.
just lost to Daukaus. Okay, so that's who that would have been. Well, not too interested in betting first fight of the night.
Say minus 360 favorite for Nascimento, so not much value there.
Yeah, not much value at all, and that would be my pick. I mean, obviously not just him being a Brazilian. Either way, he showed a very dominant performance.
Minus 360 spot's kind of been a pretty, that favorite's probably taking it right.
Yeah, I would say so. That's long enough to where it's not going to be a problem. Now, it might be something along the lines of like what we saw with Sugar Sean, where it might go all the way into the third. Who knows?
Not a no doubter.
Yeah,
but kind of a no doubter.
Yeah, for sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Next one. Now it looks exactly like him, so I imagine this is Mr. Figueiredo's brother.
Yeah, that is Francisco Figueiredo. That is Devason's Figueiredo's brother.
Alrighty.
Older brother, I do believe, actually.
Francisco is 31.
Younger brother, maybe. Either way, I'm not too sure. He's a bad little dude in and of his own right. However, he's no Davison.
This is the younger brother.
Yeah, this is the younger brother. And, is he worth a minus 310 favorite? I don't think so.
So that was my question. Is this line because he's that bad of a dude, or people are going to see that name and say, oh, Davison's brother?
Just like you did the last time you bet Davison's brother.
Did I do this before?
Okay. I just don't think because you didn't remember enough.
Because it was buried on a fight night like this.
Yeah,
so you're not wrong.
Yeah, I don't even think. Think it was at the point where I had told you guys, hey, I'm going to start breaking down the UFC. I'll break down every. Yeah, I'll break down every fight night, every fight card. But it was a little back and forth.
I don't remember. Unanimous decision, but I don't remember.
I think it was a little back and forth. It wasn't as dominant as what we expected.
I am starting to remember this.
Yeah, you remember that. So he's fighting
Malcolm
Gordon. And, I'm not really too sure about Malcolm Gordon either. He's had a few UFC fights. I know of that.
He's had 2, and he's lost them both.
Yeah, and it hasn't been good.
Submission.
But the problem is that he fought against Amir Albazi and Sue Motajiri, who are two of the baddest fucking dudes on the planet right now. These guys are both 125, which is the craziest part too. So these are little guys. I typically don't tend to bet on these guys because there's a lot of back and forth bangs that typically end in unanimous decision unless one's got a side. Especially with Figueiredo having that long of a line, I'm probably staying away from this one to start the night. Maybe a little sprinkle on Malcolm Gordon, but that's a sharp lean at best.
Sure.
Moving right along, you got Miles Johns versus Anderson Dos Santos on the preliminary card, third fight of the night. I'm a huge fan of Miles Johns. I cannot lie. This might be my one. If I were to, I might play this one. I'm not too sure. The line's pretty doggone close. 175 plus 150. Johns is at minus 175. Little bit of a risky line for him there. Obviously, you'd see the value on a guy who's 11-1, and he's been dominant ever since he came to the UFC. But man, when there's so many Brazilians on a card, I know it sounds crazy, but they have this energy about them, and they have this way that they come all into the cage and that they're to take over, not to take part. Right. So, I like Miles Johns in that case, but it might have to be a stay away from me in that sense.
That's what it sounds like to me.
If you want to go anywhere, I would go Miles Johns. I'd go Miles Johns if you want some serious value. I'd say a second round TKO. Okay. Be a little bit of value there, but I'm honestly not running to the window with that ticket at any point in time. Okay. So just a little bit of a look. The next one up, you got Khalid Taha and Sergey Morozov. These two guys in the bantamweight division are, in the stacked bantamweight division. The bantamweight is still, for crying out loud, we just saw Sugar Sean fight a no-name guy, Chris Moutinho. Or it's actually Moutinho. Shout out to Chris Moutinho. Moutinho, baddest motherfucker around. No joke, dude. I watched an interview with him with Pat McAfee, and damn.
He had Chris on there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Bad little dude. He's from Milford, Massachusetts, I do believe it is, and just talk shit. It's what he does, and I want to see him back in the cage. Yeah. Because I think if you don't fight somebody who's as high level as Sugar Sean, you are going to see something serious from him, because he was taking just fire shots to the dome, and then would move forward after that. Not only would move forward, it would go, and go, you fucking bitch, Sean. And he'd just go right back after him. He talks shit to him every time. You could see him talking shit. I want to see Chris Moutinho back in the cage ASAP, but nonetheless, we're not talking about him. There's a rabbit hole. Into the bantamweight division, these two guys, not really going to be a play for me out of this one. This one should be a really, really, really good fight to watch. I will tell you guys that one. I think that it's just too doggone close. The line's just about perfect. Minus 155 Taha, plus 130 Morozov. I could see this one going to a decision. So, and if I see it going outright to a decision, I typically like to stay away. So I don't think there's a whole lot of value on that one.
Morozov, second UFC fight. His last one was against Umar Nurmagomedov.
That's brother of Khabib.
Nurmagomedov submitted him in the second round.
That's another thing, too. Quick little tangent. Makhachev is part of the Khabib tree. So that's what kind of scares me. But Thiago Moises is a formidable foe. So I'll get into that in a minute. However,
all the way ahead.
However, Danny Rodriguez, Preston Parsons. Oh boy, this is another one. Man, this is going to be a good card. Welterweight division. These two guys obviously are not even within the top 15 guys right now. Do I think Danny Rodriguez is worth a minus 280 favorite? No, I do not. And I think this is another spot that I think you could sprinkle a little bit on the dog here. Preston Parsons coming in at plus 230. I mean, it's worth a little bit of a sprinkle, if nonetheless. I think this is going to be a scrap, which could ultimately in a decision falling Parsons' way. So he has not had any UFC fights, I do believe.
You are correct.
He is not. So you guys know me, why I wanted to mention it. I love guys making their UFC debut, especially when they've been coming off dominant performances in their last few fights. He's coming off of 4 straight wins, 4 straight submissions. So, I think he gets this down. And one of Rodriguez's key traits, he's actually likes to take fights to the canvas.
Oh, really?
And if he takes it to the canvas, I think this is going to be all but a wrap for him. So, hey, the doggy Parsons here might be worth a look and a half the more I start talking about it.
I'm thinking so too. He's 26 years old compared to Rodriguez is 34. One thing I've noticed in these, fight night cards, when you have a split like that, and when some guys that aren't, household names, that 26-year-old oftentimes comes out on top despite being, a dog in this type of spot.
Right. Well, that looks like it does it for the prelims.
Correct.
So I would definitely land in there. Oh, I skipped Amanda Lemos versus Montserrat Conejo. No clue either side, to tell you guys the truth. This is women's flyweight, I do believe, 115. Is that what the straw weight? 115.
Conejo.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try and tell you guys.
I'm
not even going to try and tell you guys. I got no effing clue.
Right.
That Lemos looks a little familiar. Like I've seen her fight before.
Minus 550.
But she cut her hair, so she looks different.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't
confused. I don't know on that one. Either way, there you go. There you have it. I won't break that one down.
She was on UFC 259, Blachowicz versus Adesanya.
Okay. Maybe that's where I recognize her from. Either way, let's move on into the main card. Now, I'll break down each fight and give you my best bet out of the fight, and then we'll give you the main card parlay to wrap everything up here for the UFC. So, first things first, you have... kicking off the main card, son of a gun, Gabriel Benitez versus Billy Q. Billy Quarantillo, however you like to say it. Quarantillo is actually coming in as the plus 136 dog, and I think that's a hell of a price to get him at. Gabriel Benitez has been doggone dominant in his own right, and this line has been pretty doggone tricky. If it gets to the plus 115, plus 120, I would suggest seriously hammering him in. I am leaning Quarantillo just because of how doggone good he's been, and his ground game is otherworldly. Now, at the same time, Gabriel Benitez has hands of stone, and he has been doggone good. I think this is honestly great matchmaking. I mean, Benitez has won 3 out of his last 5, with Quarantillo winning 4 out of his last 5. Quarantillo had that unanimous decision loss against Gavin Tucker, which, Gavin Tucker's a dog in and of himself. I think that Tucker is actually a little bit better of an opponent than Benitez, so I'm leaning to the dog side here.
I like it.
I like Billy Quarantillo. I don't think this is a fan kind of a fight. I think this is or a fan kind of play.
Right.
I think that this is priced just right, and I think Gabriel Benitez is just a little bit too high for my liking. That's almost implied odds of around 60%, and I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that on Benitez. So I would say the best bet here would be Billy Q money line, which will probably put it on the main card parlay. I haven't made an official decision, but if you like Billy Q by points, you get it at plus 290. So definitely, or plus 160. I apologize. It is plus 290. Gabriel Benitez is on points plus 160. So you're getting it plus 290. I really just think that this is very inaccurately weighted. I think Gabriel Benitez is just getting too much favor here.
And Quarantillo has never lost back-to-back fights in his career.
Yep. So I think I got to go Billy Q.
I'm with you.
So moving right along into the next one up on the evening, you have Jeremy. No, you do not.
Rodolfo.
You have Rodolfo Vieira, not Vieira. Vieira versus Dustin Stolfus. This one should be an absolutely electric affair. We're talking middleweight guys, 185. Both guys are very, very solid. Stolfus has hands of steel, ladies and gentlemen. Watched him a few times on a couple back-to-back cards. 2.48 significant strikes landed per minute with a 74.07% accuracy with those significant strikes. Now, where Vieira lacks in the strike department, he makes up for all of that in the ground department.
Right.
He has a 7.00 takedown average per fight, 47.37% takedown accuracy, and he's getting about 1.5 submissions per fight on average right now. So it's going to be that classic boxer versus ground guy, and you got to back the Brazilian in the ground situation.
7-1 in his career. That includes 3 UFC fights. 6 of his wins have been by submission. Last loss was by submission, so I'm thinking he's like, fuck that. I need to come back and get a submission myself.
Yeah, that minus 220, that was his only loss so far in the UFC, 7-1.
Yep.
Man, and Stolfus is good in and of his own right. I don't want to say that, and I think that might be a little bit too much doggy for Stolfus, plus 180.
That's fair.
But that minus 220 seems plenty safe. If you want to get wild, as we kind of talked about it, I think that submission might be the most valuable play on this. So if you get Rodolfo Vieira by submission, you'll get him at plus 100. So you're getting plus money pick him at Vieira for submission.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. That's not a bad little pick there. However, as for the full fight, not 100% sold either way. I just think Vieira being minus 235. I know it's great. I know he's been really damn good, but I hate those minus 200 plus. They just scare me so much. You're just paying so much for not much in return. It's just moving on. You have Mateus Gamrot versus Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens. I'm not even thinking twice about this one. This is Gamrot's fight to lose. Stevens has obviously been in the UFC for plenty of moons now at this point, but I think that he's overstayed his welcome. He's
having a rough go of it lately.
Yeah.
4 losses in his last 5. The only one that he didn't lose was a no contest.
Yeah, and Gamrot's only lost 1 in the UFC, and he is 18-1. I thought he was 15-1. He's 18-1. Yep. So he has been damn good. Whether you put him on the feet, whether you put him on the ground, he's going to take care of business. We know Stevens is the wrestler. I think it's going to be just fine any way it goes for Gamrot. He's definitely going to be one of my big plays. And if I'm looking for some additional value, because you don't want to lay that minus 215 on the favorite, if you get Gamrot by KO TKO, which is not a bad little play, plus 195.
Okay.
So pretty doggone good odds you can get there. But I would lean Gamrot overall for the fight in general.
Nice.
Moving on, ladies and gentlemen.
The return?
The return. You are right, my friend. Have you ever seen her fight?
I have.
Okay, well, we have.
It doesn't seem... I've been deeper into the UFC now for like 5 or so years. It doesn't seem as long, but
it doesn't. It doesn't.
I think I was kind of right when I was getting in.
That's probably
she was
right when you were getting in, when she fought Ronda Rousey. So if
I remember her getting... I think I remember her beating Holly Holm for the belt, though.
Yeah. Okay, so that was before that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because then she lost to Nunes and then Pennington, and then that was her last fight.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. Okay. Well, if you don't know, we have the return of Miesha Tate. That's right. Miesha Tate coming back to the UFC, fighting Marion Henao. Marion Henao. I'm not sure she's American, but that seems like a Brazilian name. Man, Miesha Tate making a comeback all the way. I don't know what to make of this, to tell you guys the truth, honestly. I mean, Marion, however you pronounce her name, is on a 4-fight loss streak. 4
straight losses by unanimous.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're just bringing in Tate to hopefully be a punching bag for her so her record can go somewhere, but I can't honestly see myself backing someone at the plus 110 spot that's 9-7-1.
Right.
I just
with 4 straight losses.
With 4 straight losses. I just can't back it. I do like that line. That's a line I look for a lot with some back and forth fights, but not with Renau being on. I think that line is so short just because we haven't seen Miesha Tate in who knows how long, for crying out loud. So I think Miesha Tate makes a pretty doggone good return, and I think what limited crowd base or whatever is in that Apex, I think they bring her a little welcome home party. I think so. So if I'm looking for anything, I'm going Miesha Tate. If I'm looking for some extra value, I'm going for Miesha Tate on points. You're getting that at plus 110, so not a bad move there at all. But I would definitely lean, and I'm going Miesha Tate on that side of things.
Sweet.
And then last but not least, shit. All right, I was hoping I wouldn't have to come to this, but I knew at some point I would have to. So we have Islam Makhachev versus Thiago Moises. What scares me the most is that Moises has been a dog like this multiple times, and he has upset the books multiple times. For some reason, the books just do not have any faith in him, and he goes in there and he scraps it out and he squeaks out a UD every single time. When you think he should get steamrolled, he scraps it out and gets a unanimous decision. Do I think he can do that against Makhachev out of the Nurmagomedov, the Eagle Tree? Sheesh. I don't think so. From the limited amount of time that we have seen Makhachev in the cage.
Been pretty convincing.
Convincing as all hell.
Yeah.
I don't think you can fade him in any capacity whatsoever. Now, obviously, you're not getting any worth a day. It's about like Sugar Sean last week, minus 1,000. You get minus 820 on Makhachev right now. Really zero value in that regard.
Right.
Honestly, in this, you would like to sprinkle a little bit on the dog. I think this is going to be a lot more of a dog fight than minus 820. So if you want, which golly Moses, I mean, just trying to find any type of different value here. Makhachev by points plus one or minus 120. I mean, I think this turns into a lot more of a dogfight than the books are giving him credit for. I don't think Makhachev's going to knock him out or submit him. He's just too damn good.
One thing I would say as far as Makhachev by points, all of Moise's losses are unanimous decisions.
Yeah, and I think he's just too damn scrappy, and I don't like that minus 820. I think you are getting the best value, and I think that line is pretty damn good at minus 120. I think it's pretty spot on to get
points?
Yeah, to get Makhachev
like
on points.
I
really think so. I think Makhachev does get this, but something inside of me is just telling me that this is going to be way more of a dogfight than a minus 820 to a plus 570 favorite. We saw it last week, for fuck's sakes, with a guy we didn't even know, Chris Mutini. Mm-hmm. I mean, so I talked about him a little while ago. So I think I got to go Makhachev on points. I don't think he's going to get him out of there. It's going to be a little bit of a sweat, probably. I would say so. There might be a few minute and a half or 2 minute periods of absolute domination from Makhachev, but Moises is too much of a dog to let him get him out of there by anything else other than points. So that's where I would lean, or where I'm going. So actually, that does it for the main card. How about that main card parlay, pal?
Go for it.
Here it is. Here is my main card parlay. I am taking Jeepers Creepers. Now that I look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous about Billy Quarantillo. However, I do have enough faith that I believe I can back Billy Q, not worry about him all too much. It might be a little bit of a sweat to get things going. I know Gabriel Benitez has been solid, but I just think in this spot, it's Billy Q's fight to lose. And like you said, he hasn't lost back-to-back fights in the UFC, so...
Or in his career period.
So give me Billy Q for the first leg of my main card parlay. Then nice and easy, we're going to move on along to Rodolfo Vieira versus Stolfus. You know, that minus 235, not bad, but I think I might do a little something. I'm gonna look at the alternate methods of victory here in a minute. So here we'll do Rodolfo Vieira for the second leg, just money line. Mateus Gamrot, money line for the third leg. Misha Tate, money line for the fourth leg. And Makhachev on points for the fifth and final leg. All parlay together, those five, you are getting plus 1,440 odds. So not bad with having a couple of long favorites in there. Nice 10 spot will win you 144, my friends. So you get plus 150, above plus 150. Total payout taken to the window. So there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
That Billy Q one definitely seems like your biggest question mark, though.
Yeah. It's a little squarey.
Because I'm with you on all. I'm not saying I'm not with. I'm with you on the fit on that one as well. But it is by far the biggest question mark. I am right there with you on the other four for sure.
The only thing that's leaning me more is like most of what I said. I just don't think Benitez is a 65% probability to win.
Right.
I just don't think. I think that's way too far for him. So I got to side with him on that side. So there is that. Let me make sure. Lock that in. Everything good there. All right. So that's all locked. So then I want to look at these alternate methods of victory. So if you like Billy Q, you can do Billy Q. Or if you just want to skip all that nonsense and stay the hell away, I'll give you that option too. But we'll take Rodolfo Vieira by submission. You're getting that for plus 100. Then we will also move along to Mateus Gamrot, who is obviously the other long favorite. We'll take Mateus Gamrot by KO TKO. You're getting that plus 195. And then we will go to actually, yeah. I actually just like those two in a little parlay. A little extra something for you. So if you like Billy Q and you also like Rodolfo Vieira by submission and Mateus Gamrot by KO, you're getting that at plus 1,292.
Okay, that's 3 legs.
That's 3 legs. Okay. You don't like Billy Q. You're questioning what he actually will do. My opponent, I didn't even know it. Rodolfo Vieira by sub and Mateus Gamrot by KO or TKO, you're getting plus 490 on that bad boy.
All right.
So not too bad. That is worth a look. I think that is worth a sprinkle and a half. If I were to play anything additional, if you guys don't like the main card parlay, you're flipping things around, I would say those two are the most valuable picks on the main card for sure. So,
sounds good to me.
There you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The entire UFC Fight Night broke down, talked about, discussed the best bets, the best value in between, everything out there. You want to know anything more about MMA, UFC? You got some specific things you want me to talk about? Hey, drop it down in the comments. We'll take a peep ski at it, and we'll make some content about it. No questions asked. So there you go. There you have it. We have been going today, partner. Hour and a half into this thing. Let's wrap it up here. A few quick pit stops on some rants and reactions. Then we'll do some motivation minutes. Get y'all out of here.
All right.
So, first things first, if you could be so kind, partner. Second day in a row here now. How are we doing over in the UK in Sandwich at the Royal St. George Golf Club for the British Open?
So we're having a potential nice weekend. You especially, a little bit more than myself. Leader through, he has done for the day. There are still some guys nipping at his heels, but Colin Morikawa, 9 under, 6 under today to get him to 9 under as the leader. Jordan Spieth, Louis Oosthuizen nipping on his heels at 8 under, my man.
Wow.
So, did you do a little sprinkle on Morikawa and Oosthuizen, or was there a top 5 or 10 in there? Or was
my two sprinkles were Oosthuizen and Justin Thomas.
Okay.
So then Oosthuizen, I love him right now, being tied for second. That's cool. Through 9 on the day, he's still going. And then Morikawa, I didn't play to win the tournament outright because so many people were talking trash about him playing on the links. I took him at a top 5, so I still
some good odds.
I still got him plus 490.
Okay,
but doggone,
people
man!
Talked you out of
holy
it, man.
shit, they really did. Like, I was really high.
I think I said it yesterday. The only thing is that he admitted on air that he just didn't have experience with links golf. Not like he's a bit bad, anything like that. It's just like, yeah, I haven't done it. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, I was super high on him, and I just, yeah, you're right. I let people talk me out of it, and I shouldn't have. But we'll see how he holds through the weekend. There's still 2 more rounds of 18 to play. 36 mo hoes.
But my 2 guys that I picked, I didn't pick a winner, but my 2 guys still, need a nice Saturday or Sunday to get up there. Schauffele and McIlroy both even. Making the cut right now. They are done for the day, but they need to have a nice Saturday and Sunday. However, the one that we are on watch for that is in play today, Mr. Bryson DeChambeau at plus 225 to miss the cut. He is currently at 3 over, and the projected cut is plus 1. So he's got to make a couple of shots up to get into that cut line, my man.
I think he misses, and I think we
so
cash
too.
It. I think he misses, and I think we cash it. I don't think we have a problem.
He's through 11 holes, 2 over on the day, through 11 to get him total 3 over. He's got to make up a couple shots, and I don't think he's got it in him.
Hey, man, I am more than thrilled. I found just some corner of the internet articles about these couple guys that I put bets on, and so far going pretty doggone good. So we'll keep rocking and rolling. We'll keep updating you, letting you know who won it on Monday, keeping you updated with content over the weekend. Obviously, you know how it goes down on the TTL Twitter, so make sure you follow us there as well.
Not too many other glaring guys that are looking to miss the cut, except for maybe Patrick Reed, Jason Day. John Rahm was kind of flirting with it. I believe he has played himself out of that danger zone there. Yeah, he's having a nice day. He's at 2 under total, 3 under for the day. So he has played himself off of that bubble. So,
all right,
odds-on favorite. Still not looking great for the tournament, but playing him into contention.
All right. Well, there is your British Open update, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. The Open Championship. It's not called the British Open?
They don't like it called that over there, at least.
Why?
It's the Open. It's titled the Open Championship. They get mad at us when
But
we
it's
say the
in
British Open.
Britain, but we
Well, they don't call it the British Open. We just say it's the British Open because
call it the U.S. Open here.
right. That's just the title of it. We literally just like, oh, it's over there. We're
Whatever,
gonna call it
man.
the British Open.
Bubble wrap this world, dog. Okay, for sure.
It's not like an actual like offensive thing. It's
what
just like
in the hell?
that's just not what it's called.
All right, well, never. That's a new one to me. Appreciate
I still call it that. So
Okay, I was really hoping I wasn't for the last hour and a half. I've been overstepping bounds.
No, not like that. Like everyone in America still calls it that. But they just like, hey, that's not what it's called.
Okay, good. Perfect. All right, no problem. Moving right along.
Not gonna get canceled for calling it the British Open.
Thank goodness. I was a little worried there for a minute. NFL season, 56 days away. College basketball season, 117 days away. Eventually, we won't have to tell you on every single episode of the pod because you'll be able to see it with your own eyes on some type of graphic within the interweb.
I can't wait.
Can't wait either, dude. It looks so damn good. I cannot wait to roll the TTL website out to you guys. Rough draft is
Coming
complete.
along.
Pretty doggone good. A lot of minor, the pins and needles, the ins and outs, the tinkering shit is what is about to start. So it's only a few days away now, it seems like, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for us to tell you here. We'll drop it on socials. Obviously, all of our platforms have it available. We'll let you guys know. So the TTL website is right around the corner. Outside of that, quick little MLB update. We talked about it a few weeks ago, partner, that he would be starting his rehab sometime soon, that being Chris Sale. And that sometime soon has officially come upon us. How's your guy doing? Your man playing for the Red Sox now, still got a special place in your heart.
Yeah,
How
I
you
still
feeling?
love the guy. I mean, I saw an update. Of course, it was Jared Carrabis, who's definitely biased for the Red Sox.
Sure.
But it was something, and that's obviously a low-level league. But basically, he was making a rehab start, not officially their like single A. It might have been their like one of their side leagues because they got so many rookie league side leagues.
Hey, a
whatever
lead's
it
a
was.
lead, baby.
But he was looking fantastic. So, I keep mentioning him. If he's even 80, 90% of what he used to be, that is a massive addition for that rotation.
Yeah.
And
wow, they need it.
If they get him back anytime soon, I think I'm not going to say lock for the AL East, but it looked pretty damn good.
All right. Well, in other MLB news,
Other AL East news.
other AL East news too, are we coming back, partner? Are other countries finally coming back? Maybe not.
Here
We
and there.
talked a little bit about
I was
Tokyo
gonna say,
yesterday. Seriously,
here and there.
fooking up 6-month high. But Canada, the Great White North, up over yonder. Oh, hey there. They might be coming back.
Blue Jays could be coming back, baby.
It sounds like the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be able to play at home field finally after a very long first half of the season in Florida and partly in Buffalo, New York.
I mean, shit, man. I'm not saying they're going to come all the way back. I did just say the Red Sox are going to win the AL East if Chris Sale comes back, but Blue Jays getting some home cooking might propel them up the standings.
Might just do the trick for those
Maybe a
boys.
wild card. I wouldn't. They're definitely not on a wild
No,
card. I mean,
and,
not out of the AL East contention, but
And we talked about it also that if Vlad Guerrero single-handedly brings those boys into the playoff, he is undoubtedly the 2021 MVP.
I wouldn't say undoubtedly, but
Pretty doggone
doggone
close. Pretty doggone close. It's a two-horse race right now
Yeah.
between him and Ohtani, so we'll see what these guys do. But man, oh man, the Blue Jays might have a little bit of extra something.
only 4.5
happening.
out of the wild card.
Yeah, not bad at all. So the Blue Jays might have something going on, being able to get back into the home ballpark. We'll see what happens. But that does it. Nothing crazy for the MLB. The war on sticky stuff has kind of quieted down, if you will. Nothing too crazy happening.
I saw
Pretty
they
wild.
upheld Santiago's appeal or whatever. So he's going to serve his suspension.
Yep. So
Quieted down, though. You're right.
Yeah, very quieted down. Then again, we have had a week of no baseball, just a little all-star game. So we'll see if the war on sticky stuff reignites, if the fire begins to burn again, with checking pitchers and boys getting tossed based on what type of substances they have on their gloves. We don't know. It's quieted down a little bit, but I have a sneaky suspicion that shit's about to start popping off again. So we'll be sure to cover it if it does. You already know the drill. NBA hardwood, ladies and gentlemen, nothing to cover in the NHL today. Gave you some updates, injury news, Shea Weber, stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. Go back to yesterday's episode. You want to talk about the NHL because you ain't going to find it here. NBA hardwood tomorrow.
Game 5.
Game 5. We don't obviously have it today. Kind of sucks during the finals that we have a couple of days off between, and It's about to get to the time where it's nothing but baseball betting for about the next month and a half here. A little bit more. We are slowly getting to that NFL season and the best betting time of the year. Myself completed the Arizona Cardinals and half of the Atlanta Falcons in the Sharp Football Analysis book last night. And my friends, this is your last day. Before I get into the NBA here, we talk about a little something. I suggest you get the Sharp Football Analysis book. I skimmed through it, and as I have started reading now into the official third chapter, the team breakdown chapter, oh my days. I don't even know where to start. The amount of knowledge I have gained from breaking down one team from a set of guys, it's absolute insanity. I would have never imagined. Like, I knew that the Cardinals struggled post-Murray injury. I didn't really realize how important that was. I didn't really realize how important play action is to them. I didn't realize how damn important pre-snap motion is for them. I didn't realize how important Kyler Murray actually be able to successfully run the ball is for that Kingsbury defense. I didn't realize what the reasons were to bring in James Conner and back up Chase Edmonds. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Cardinals win the Super Bowl?
Not saying that.
You got through one team.
It's just electric, man. It's electrifying. If you are a stats person, I mean, my heart was just thumping last night going through this shit. I mean, if you are a stats and an analytics, insights guy, gal, whoever, I mean, it is something you need to get. Do I think the Cardinals go over 8 wins? No.
Okay.
No. Really? Right now. As of right now.
Okay.
As of right now.
Tough division.
That defense had the third luckiest rate as far as fumbles and interceptions over the course of the last decade.
Really?
And they made some serious adjustments. They picked up Marlon Humphreys, but...
And J.J. Watt.
But as far as the secondary goes, little bit scary. We'll dive into that too at some point. And then they got Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons, the two middle guys. Mike Linebacker's going to be Zaven Collins, and he's got to be the big dog.
Okay.
Bringing in a rookie to be the big dog. So if you needed any more convincing how hardcore we are going to go on this NFL season and break it down, and once we get to the NFL Special Edition, once it's about a month or so out, what we are going to be delivering to you, I just took out the smallest minute little bit I could right there. And I'm telling you, there is so much more to dive into and break down and discuss and talk about. Oh boy, it is going to be absolutely electrifying. Yeah. So I suggest you do that. But hey, back to the NBA hardwood real quick. Let's wrap up the Rants Reactions. Game 5, partner. Line opened up. Suns -4. Pretty much across the board on every book. Might be up to -4.5. You might have caught the hook at this point. How you feeling? I know you've been beating the Bucks drum all along. I know we talked about it yesterday. I think I'm going to have to lean Suns -4. Two key reasons as to that number has been very, very critical in the playoffs. And I think home court advantage is just what does it here in the finals.
I think I'm right there with you. My only concern is that throughout these playoffs, within a series or within a couple of series combined, anytime you see like 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row trend, every once in a while that like 4th, 5th time, is the one outlier. But I'm not saying I agree with that in tomorrow's case. I think it's a home team series. So I'm not laying down my official pick now, but I am leaning towards Suns as well.
Yeah, I would have to lean there too. And then I'm also leaning on another under.
Okay.
I think that it's a lean at this point, but I think that the books are going to set it in a way that, it's going back to Phoenix. It's got to go over. It's got to be over. Everybody's hammering the over. That's just where my thoughts are right now.
They did dip down a little bit.
I believe it's at 218.5. Last I looked. I'm not too certain where I'm leaning quite yet, but I think that line movement is going to cause a lot of the public to take the over, and I think I'm going to be siding a little bit more on the under yet again here. So that's kind of where we're leaning. Obviously, be sure to follow us on the Action Network HQ app. If you don't have that downloaded already, get that son of a gun on the App Store or Android, whatever the heck you have. I don't know. Get the Action app and follow myself at cash_with_Colt. Follow Riley at RMags in all caps. And then you can follow the Talking the Line best bets of the day that are put up right after every single show at Talking the Line. No spaces, no lowercase, no uppercase, just nice and easy for you there. So you have all of that. We'll also give you ways that you can access some of our best bets on the upcoming website. You will be able to see some different graphics and maybe just click a button and get on or redirected on over to your favorite sportsbook and hammer in what we're hammering in for the day. So who knows? That might be coming too. Who knows? That might be something you might be able to see right off the bat. Who the hell knows? I got no idea either way. I can't call it one way or the other. But what I do know is that you can definitely get all of our best bets right now, daily best bets, anything we hammer in up to this second on the Action Network app. So follow us there for sure. Make sure you check out the Talking the Line link tree. First link, once again, in this episode's description, is going to have all of our content, all of our social platforms, so you can follow along right with us. You never miss an update. You never miss an episode, a show, new piece of content, whatever the case might be. You're always up to date. We are most active on Twitter. That's where we have the most updates, most stuff, most content. So at the bare minimum, suggest you follow us on the old Bird app so you can get the latest updates from TTL Sports Media.
Right.
We'll let you know about the website. Just tentatively, I'm thinking middle of next week. That's just where my head's at. Feel comfortable saying that and telling that to you guys. It has been a grind and a half, but I have been afforded the opportunity to be able to learn all of this stuff and put together a doggone website. Mags give me some great ideas, give me some stuff to think about, but anything you see, I have been grinding away. Ask Mags, I've been sitting in the corner of the office and fucking smoke just shooting out of my ears and just like, what the fuck? Just about 2, 3, 3.5 hours, 4 hours every single day I've been putting into it. So right around the corner. Can't wait to roll it out to you guys, and it's just going to open the door for so much more content, so many more connections for us, so many more connections for you. Cannot wait to bring it to you. So that about does it. That's about any updates I wanted to drop on your heads. Everything we wanted to talk about, rants and reactions-wise, partner, anything burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul that you have been dying to get out to the kind folks that joined us on episode 82 of the Talking the Line podcast on this beautiful July 16th, 2021.
You took the wind out of my sails at the top of it, hitting the links today. I'm feeling dangerous, man. The flat stick.
You're
I don't know
looking
why.
dangerous.
I don't know why the flat stick feels good today.
Oh, okay.
Haven't touched it yet today, but it feels good.
Oh, right. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it feels good. Maybe you guys are, maybe you got ESPN or something, telepathy.
Now that I think of it, I hope I have my backup putter in my bag because my main putter is in my apartment.
Oh, boy. So he said the flat stick feels good today, and now he just remembered the flat stick might not be in his bag.
90%
so Mr.
sure I've got 2 in my bag.
Mr. Magnuson might be at a course near you, putting with his 56 degree. But we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows? Mags, you just saw a young man go from shooting a 32 in his mind to quite potentially, who knows if a 50's coming around the corner. But we're going to find out as soon as, and you might want to follow him on Twitter just to find out how this goes, if he's got that second flat stick in that bag, because it might be one hell of a saga on the Twitter sphere today if he's out there putting with that 56 degree.
I believe I have a second one, and Papa Mags usually has got a second one himself. So
we should be squared away.
Between my dad and my brothers and I, someone's got an extra putter.
We should be squared away, but we will stay tuned.
Wish I had my actual putter, though, but
either way,
I'm feeling dangerous.
He's feeling dangerous. We'll see what happens, and we will stay tuned on Twitter to see how this all shakes out. Thank you for your sidebar, partner.
Goodness gracious.
That does it for today's rants and reactions, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Everything covered. Let's finish this show out right, nice and quick. Get you guys back about your day just before lunchtime here with a little bit of my motivation minutes. Just a quick message for you here today, my friends. Talked about this week a lot, just overcoming adversity and the harder you work, the harder you surrender, continuing to move forward in the face of resistance, facing that fear, facing everything and rise. It's kind of where all my messages have kind of been centered around so far this week, and kind of going through your process and how to get through your process and get from one situation's process to the next one, and realize that you're always growing and you're always evolving, and the best is always yet to come. It's coming right around the corner, even though it may feel miles away. It's right around the corner. And Today I wanted to share a little quote with you guys. I just wanted to remind you to trust your process. It is your process. It is not my process. It's not Riley's process. It's not nobody else's process. It's nobody even that I can think of's process. It's mine. It's meant for me. So nobody can tell me how I should be living my process. Nobody can tell me that my process is wrong. Nobody can tell me that I'm going about my process wrong because it's my process. Trust your process. You are on your path to success, and you are planted there for a reason. You don't need to try and get off of it because those paths weren't made for you. The lane you are in is the lane you are supposed to be in, and you need not think about swerving. I can promise you that. Stay where you're at and trust your process. And the quote I wanted to share with you is that we always end up right where we are meant to be, right when we're meant to be there. One more time, we always end up right where we're meant to be, right when we are meant to be there. Everything happens in its due time, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, people joining for the first time that might have never seen a Colts Motivation Minutes, and this might hit you in a certain way. Trust your process. Everything will come when it is supposed to. If you are struggling, wondering why something is not coming into your life and you've been doing nothing but the best thing possible and working towards it every day and giving your all and giving your effort and it's still not coming into your life, it's time to step back a little bit. It's time to be still. Give your mind a break, especially over this weekend. I really want you to remember this. If you've been struggling with your process, if you've been hitting wall after wall, or maybe you haven't, everything's been going good, but you're just not reaching that goal and you don't know why, give yourself a break. Slow down this weekend. Take some time to be still. And maybe if things aren't falling into place and you think you've been doing everything right, maybe take a second to step back and see if you really have. Are you really crossing the T's and dotting the I's? Are you really living the disciplined lifestyle you need to attain the success that you want? Where's your head at? How are you living? How are you feeling? Take some time to assess that. But most importantly, as you do assess that, don't lose the vision and trust the process. Trust your process, my friends, because it will always work out in your favor if you just simply believe. Have faith, don't doubt, remove all anxiety, worry, and fear, and believe that the best is yet to come. If you put all that in correlation, combine all that together, and implement it every single day, you're going to reach that success much faster than you would ever believe. And you're going to lose sight of that goal that you're trying to attain. The vision will still be there in the back, but you're going to fall in love with your process and what it's doing to you every single day to make you the best version you can be. So when you hit that vision, you're all set up and ready to rock and roll, baby. So this weekend, today, Friday, moving on into Saturday and Sunday, today I want you to remember, trust your process, and we end up right where we are supposed to be, right when we are supposed to be there. And that does it for my motivation minutes for today.
Good stuff, my man. Yeah, I mean, you always got some very solid stuff laid down on this. And, you know, I myself, and as many other people, take that into account. But you, as you're alluding to, you have to put your own spin on it because everyone's got their own experiences. But yeah, good stuff, my man. Trust your own process. You have to.
Absolutely. I absolutely think that is one of the most important things to surviving this thing called life. Mm-hmm. So I know you're ready to get up on in that car, get on sped down the highway and onto the links, get your weekend started while I wrap some of the back end stuff up here. One of these here days, I'll hit the old links right alongside with you. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. That is episode number 82 on this beautiful Friday of Bets, July 16th, 2021. As always, degenerates and gamblers far and wide, anybody in between, from myself and Mags, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Friday, a terrific Saturday and Sunday, a wonderful start to your weekend, getting you to that Saturday and Sunday. Anything you may encounter in between is just filled with good vibes, positive energy, and you are just rolling the money train down the tracks this weekend. As always, Let's cash some tickets.